Here's the video review for the Bandai DX Chogokin RVF-25 Messiah Valkyrie Luca Custom. Luca obviously is the pilot, and one of the things that's neat is you can actually open up the cockpit, and there actually is a little pilot inside there, which is very cool. Let me close that up. And it does have some die-cast landing gear. A lot of people wish they were a little longer, and it would be nice if they were just a little bit longer, especially in the front. But it's a minor trade-off. And he's a Recon, which is what the R in RVF stands for. It's a Recon version of the VF-25 from Macross Frontier, so he does have this radar dish on top. And you can actually extend that radar dish out. And as you can see, it does come off. That would pretty much be your standard VF-25 looking like that. Let me pop this back on here. And you can spin that. And it does spin very freely, as you can see. Close that up. And then when you've got them on the stand, or you've got them up off the ground, there's a fold down antenna in the back there. So, I did mention the stand. You can take the landing gear and you can fold it up into the little compartments, and then it comes with a stand, just like that. And you just want to come up here. There's a little tab here you can open up, and that's going to plug right in there and support it. Slide those pieces up there, so you can display it in fighter mode, and it makes for a nice display. Some people, again, I've heard complaints about the bulkiness of the base, and there is that, but with the die-cast content, especially back here in the feet, it'd be hard to do a normal stand for it. Or it'd be hard to do just a stand pegged up under here, because it would constantly want to, tilt back. But a nice convertible stand, and we'll see more of that later on in the review. Now, in typical Macross fashion, there is a Gerwalk mode. The Gerwalk mode is probably the weakest of the three, but I'll do my best to show that off. I'm going to pull off this back shield right here. You can see the hands under there. We'll set that down to the side for a minute. Bring the legs down and under, like that. And detach them from the wings here. There we go. Bring them down and around, pull the little hip bits out. Now the instructions say, part of the stand stayed attached to it. There we go. Say to leave these intakes attached to the jet, but then you don't really get much movement in the legs. And if you attach these a little bit and fold them up, you can get a little bit better A-frame stance going there, as you can see. Then you just want to bring the arms, bring the hip armor down. Just bring the arms around, just like that. And then this arm around. Those up and around like that. And you get an okay Gerwalk mode. It's not the most stable. But you can do a pretty decent. The back likes to sag sometimes, but you can get a fairly decent Gerwalk mode out of it. And the shield pegs on to the side of the arm here. So there you go. There's a Gerwalk mode. It does look a little skinny from the sides, and I think most of that is just because, unlike in the original Macross Valks, a lot of this back here, the wings would come off the side, but a lot of this middle part flipped in half and folded up and kind of gave it more of a bulky backpack as opposed to just sticking out the back. And I think if they did that here, it would make for a much more compact and more solid looking Gerwalk mode. But for what you get, it's not the best Gearwalk mode of all the modes, but it's certainly passable. And like I said, probably the weakest mode of the three, because I think fighter mode looks really nice and tight, and when we get to Batroid mode, it's pretty cool too. So to continue on to Batroid mode, one of the things you want to do is open up these panels here and flip in these little fins. Close those up and flip in those fins. Go ahead and extend the ankles, and you can see the big die cast ankles here. And extend the feet. Bring the legs down, straighten them back out, and then come around here, and you can take this peg, tabs into this waist piece right here. Actually, before we do that, we're going to come under here, open up the landing gear, and flip the nose cone section down like that. Then flip this down and plug that in like that. And then you're going to take this chest piece, lift this up, and then this whole cockpit piece rotates around. And again, you can plug those hips in before or after. It rotates around and under like this. It helps if you take this off for transformation. It lets you get to the head a little better. Snap that together. And while you're doing that, you want to bring this down. Oh, that's why his antenna's caught on the piece. Bring this down, pop his head up out of there, just like that. And then flip this over. Oh, that was just a shield. Okay. And then snap this down over the body there. And then just fold the wings in the back. Bring his arms up. Fold the wings down in the back. Fold them up. Fold the tail fins flat. Bring his knees down. Pull the armor pieces on his hips there back. Pull his head all the way up and around. There we go. And there you have him in Batroid mode. Again, put the shield back on his arm. And you can leave this detached. I like to leave it on just so it doesn't sit as an extra piece on the side there. Leave that attached to his back. Pull his wings back, and there's Luca in Batroid mode. Ah! Ho ho ho! There you go. I'll try to be more clear on the Mac. Now all the Valkyries look more or less the same. Again, Luca has the disc on his back and the shield, or not the shield, this radar dish on his arm. And but aside from the colors, they're all the same basic body. They have different head sculpts. You can see Luca kind of looks like, if you ever watched Tiny Toon Adventures, kind of looks like Go-Go Dodo from Tiny Toons. But very cool. They do come with 6 interchangeable hands. You have to leave these flat ones in, which is a shame. You can only use these flat hands for fighter mode because they're the only ones that fit up in the shield when they're folded back. But you do also get a left and right fist, a left and right kind of open fist, and then a left and right open hand, which can make for some cool stuff. So you use the open hand here. Also, you get the Gatling gun. Now, Luca's doesn't clip to the bottom of his fighter mode, only because of the way that shield works. It kind of blocks the connection point for these, but they do clip underneath the Valkyrie in robot mode, or in fighter mode, and I'll show that on Mikhail's review. And then you can pull them out, extend them out, and pull this bottom panel down and under for their handheld gun in Batroid mode, which again can be held by the open fist. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then just plug the fist on. Would have been easier if I just plugged the fist on before I did this, but whatever. Plug the fist onto his arm, and then put his open hand over here. I mean, you can get some really nice posability in these guys. Like I said, there's hinges in the knees. The ankles are fairly mobile. There are some up in the thighs if you want to tilt his legs forward. You know, they're mostly there for Gearwalk mode, but whatever. Full range of motion in the arms, swivel at the shoulder. Again, the hands rotate. head turns. There's no waist swivel, which is well, there is kind of a waist swivel. If you detach this piece from the cockpit back here, you can kind of swivel the waist, but you lose some stability in the see this the top half likes to fall backwards, so it's not the best joint in the world, but it is there if you want it. I mean, it's cool because, like I said, with this open hand, you can kind of pose the arm so he's got his gun crossed across himself, supported by his hand here. You can do some really neat poses with them. They're really nice figures. They're not the best Chogokins in the entire series. There's certainly some better ones out there, but if you're into Macross Frontier and you like the designs, they're definitely worth picking up. So there you have it, Bandai DX RVF-25 Chogokin Luca Custom.